don't have a script to read. Can you read the script that we're supposed to read, or do we not have to do that?
Bear with me. Let me find it. I have it somewhere. Bear with me. Okay. Who will be acting as chair?
Bruce, you always do it so well.
Okay.
Okay, I'll start. As a preliminary matter, this MAB meeting, Chair Bruce Mendel, permit to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Bruce Mendel,
Present.
Robert,
Present.
and Tom.
Here.
And staff, as myself, Esmeralda Martinez here as the HDC compliance coordinator. And we don't have any anticipated speakers, so we'll pass that. Okay, good morning. This open meeting of the Madaket Advisory Board is being conducted remotely pursuant to Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will feature public comment as previously noted. For this meeting, the MAB is convening by video conference via Zoom as posted on the town's website, identifying how the public may join. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and that all attendees participating by video conference. Accordingly, please be aware that other folks may be able to see you and to take care not to screen share your computer or anything you broadcast may be captured by this recording. All supporting materials that have been provided of this body are available on the town website unless otherwise noted. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless I note or otherwise, or the chair. We're now turning the first item on the agenda. Before we do so, permit me to cover some ground rules for effective and clear conduct of our business and to ensure accurate meeting minutes. I will introduce each speaker on the agenda. After they conclude their remarks, the chair will go down the line of members, inviting each by name, provide any comment, questions, or motion. Please hold until your name is called further. Please remember to mute your phone or computer when you're not speaking. Please remember to speak clearly in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. For any response, please wait until the chair yields the floor to you and state your name before speaking. If any member wishes to engage in a conversation with other members, please do so by the chair, taking care of identifying yourself. After members have spoken, the chair will afford public comment to those members of the public that have joined the meeting via Zoom. Members of the public who wish to speak must state their name and be acknowledged by speaking and through the chair. And finally, each vote is to be taken in this meeting will be conducted by roll call vote. Okay.
Esmeralda, if you'll send me a copy of that next time I can read it.
Of course, I will make sure you get a copy of this.
The other thing is, at the conclusion of the meeting, I guess as the chair, I'm supposed to fill out a form with our notes. And I don't have that form, so if you could email that to me, I'll do that.
Okay.
Thanks. And just for Bob's and Tom's information, you know, the Madaket area plan sent out a survey to almost 700 invitees, and we got we got over 200 responses, full responses where people submitted their response back to the entire survey. And there were almost 500 people who opened the survey and did part of it and submitted a partial answer. But the reason I'm telling you this is that several of the questions, and the survey is closed, we got the answer back. Several of the questions involve pools in Madaket and solar panels. So I'm going to share some of that when the time comes in the meeting, just so you understand what the sentiment of the community seems to be, which I think is helpful for us.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first item is looking here. Oh, 10 Starbuck. there's actually 3 applications. And the first application is for a shed. And this property is on Starbuck. And the way the property is configured, does everybody have a copy of this or should I hold it up?
Yes.
Yeah, hold it up.
Okay.
Okay.
He's got it here on the thing. Good. You can see that the shed is proposed right on the setback on the north side of the property. It's clearly visible from the driveway and from Starbuck. Starbuck is up on the top left corner of this diagram. So in reviewing this document, it's rather a bland type of a shed. There's no big deal. There's a double door on one side. There's a sliding door on the other side. If you scroll down, there you go. I'll go back. Okay, you see in elevation number 2, there's a double door that opens.
Mm-hmm.
And in elevation 5, there's a side door that's kind of like a barn door that slides to the left and they can get in and it slides closed. It's got a couple of windows on the ends, which, gives them a little bit of light into the place. But I really didn't have too much of an issue with this. Did any of you folks, what do you think of it?
It's it's a shed. It's, basic. It's what it is. I mean, it's not like it's a fancy type thing.
It's 200 square feet, which is the maximum.
Mm-hmm.
The roofing material, it says, is going to be wood, red cedar. And I don't think, the trim is natural, exposed. It says that the trim is to be painted, but then it says it's going to be natural. So I'm not sure what what color paint they're using. Did anyone see that in the application?
Yes, but really I have no concerns that whether it's painted or not, if it matches the house, everything is all right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
But what about the location?
the location doesn't bother me that
No,
much.
okay.
I drove by yesterday. It's a little bit close to the house next door, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But it's right on the setback. The setback is supposed to be, I think, 5 feet on the side.
Mm-hmm.
And even though the dimension here, if you look at can you enlarge it to the setback, please? Okay, stop. You
I
can,
really don't, that's a pretty good location.
Yeah.
yeah, it's the setback plus 1.2 feet.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'll list it as no concerns.
I will list it as no concerns.
I'll list it as no concerns let's take a formal vote. The committee opinion is no concerns. Let's go yes or no. Bob,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes,
Bruce, no concern. So 3-0. That's good. The next item is the same property, but it's a garage. And we'll get that drawing up on here for you. Okay, this garage is visible from the street. There's a lot of planting. You see how the driveway curves around to the north
Uh-huh.
into the main area? The area between the garage and, okay, well, these pictures are horrible because they've kind of graded the whole property. there's no indication of plantings. And I thought that would be helpful, but as it is, the garage is quite visible from the street. There's some kind of a relaxation or whatever it is area on the second level with a very large deck.
Mm-hmm.
The deck is accessible by a stairway on the outside, not from the inside. So I don't know, what their plan is, but, we've been getting a lot of these submittals lately where things get submitted to us piecemeal. It happened on the property at the corner of Macy and Baltimore, where we had a house submitted, then we had a shed submitted, and then they had something else. It was just piecemeal. And it eventually became clear that it was a short-term rental property. I don't think that's necessarily what this is, but it's a one-car garage. And again, I didn't have too much of a question with it, although, can you enlarge this so we can look at the windows? Okay, good. These windows are kind of large, and Linda's our window maven, but these windows are, frame over frame, and they have a little style in it that makes it look like they're 2-panel windows. But I'm looking for the window schedule here. I tried to find it before and I couldn't.
There it is.
Oh, there it is. Okay, it still doesn't tell us too much about the windows. When I look at the application, okay, it doesn't tell me, are these Anderson windows? Are they, what company are they? They're going to be screens with them. I don't know what they are. I would have what we're looking at is not a window schedule. It's really some kind of diagram. They're calling it a legend.
The doors are all right, but are the windows visible from Macy Lane? Or are they
On Starbuck? This is on Starbuck. Yes, these windows are visible from Starbuck. The west elevation is quite visible.
What's that little overhang on the left?
Here,
Yeah.
there's a door there.
Oh,
Hold on, let's go to the, see, he's got his elevations misidentified.
mm-hmm.
Let's go to, yeah, okay, you see the double doors?
Yeah.
That's the garage door. Those doors open out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they look all right.
And on the other elevation, I'm just flipping through my document. Okay, good. I got it here. There is a single person door. There it is. See it?
Uh-huh.
There's a man door there that has a covered porch covering over it. That's kind of busy for a garage. I don't have any real problems with it.
But that little overhang on the left, what is that over?
That's the one on the left is over the two outswinging doors.
Oh,
See it? There's two
Yeah.
overhangs, one on that elevation, one on the other elevation.
oh, okay. It just looks kind of strange, kind of just stuck there, but
Yeah, it does. But this is the garage. I don't know why they need that, but it's kind of busy, but they obviously have some other use intended for the second floor. It doesn't
well, there's a
particularly
pool
bother me.
application.
Like,
There's a pool application.
huh?
It does look a little busy, but it seems to conform.
Yeah. I didn't really have any questions other than the windows, whether those are truly divided lights or those little snap-in things that go, but go in the windows.
Everything is
why I-
all right. Yeah, everything is all right for me, except as long as the windows match the house.
Okay,
I'll go along with that.
okay, Bob, thank you. Okay, so is that our only comment on this?
Fine with me.
Okay, let's do a quick vote. Tom,
Yes,
Bob,
Yes,
Bruce, okay. Okay, the next one is their pool application. Now, I'm going to tell you, I have agita with the pools. I told you we just had this massive survey come back, and I haven't shared the results yet because it's contained within the Madaket area plan, and they're going to release it. But I'm going to tell you that in the survey, swimming pools, 71% of the respondents are concerned about swimming pools and the noises and the detriment to property values. That's a huge number. 71% are not in favor of pools.
also concerned about the lighting at night.
That's right. You know, we have the disruptive, what we call unintended consequences in the survey. Their noise, disruptive rental users, lighting abuses, safety concerns, attractive nuisances, fencing, particularly property line setbacks, and chemically treated water discharges into the groundwater. But those are all concerns that people were just livid about because of the proliferation we're seeing of pools, especially for the buildings that are turning into short-term rentals. And 68%, the question was, installation of swimming pools is increasing across the island. You both saw this question.
Mhm.
Are pools consistent with Madaket's current housing patterns and rural feel? 67% said no, they're not consistent with that. So there's quite a, I think, quite a responsibility on our part to look at pools a little bit with that perspective too. First, and this particular pool, by the way, is pretty small. It's
I was
13
gonna
by
say, it's tiny.
It's 13 by 7, and it doesn't say how deep it is. It's really not visible from the street unless you look at it from the neighbor's, the road in front of the neighbor's property. Then it's visible. Here are my problems with this pool. One, there's no elevation to show us what the pool looks like. There's no fence. A fence is supposed to be shown.
Well, don't a lot of people use that automatic safety cover, or are they all required to have a fence?
It doesn't say.
They've got a cover.
The
No, we make-
state regulation, which I pulled and looked at, says any swimming pool constructed after October 2nd of 1975 shall be enclosed by a fence 6 feet high, firmly secured at the ground level.
It
And
should also say if there's a fence, it should also be surrounded by shrubbery.
well, the fence can be concealed by shrubbery, but the shrubbery does not take the place of a fence, according to the state regulation. And it also says that gates shall be not less than 6 feet above the ground and shall be self-latching with the latches placed 4 feet above the ground. You know,
Yes,
there's no indication on this plan of how this is to be secured. Most pools have equipment associated with them, pumps, filters, things of that nature, and they make noise. And the noise is troublesome to the neighbors unless the pool equipment is in an enclosure that is kind of disruptive of the flow of the sound.
Well, we should make that note that it is not fully visible to us for those items.
We don't have any enclosure. There's no indication where the pool equipment is going to be.
Yes, that's why I made that comment.
No fence.
No fence, no shrubbery, and no note of the equipment.
No equipment enclosure or details. My view is that this plan for the pool should be resubmitted with this information. We shouldn't be guessing.
Hmm.
I agree with you, Bruce.
I agree too. It's just too many questions here.
Revise and resubmit.
Yep.
Okay. Anybody else have any comments?
No.
Okay. Yes, go ahead, Tom. Okay, let's take a vote then. The comments we have here is it should be revised and resubmitted. There should be more information on it, particularly regarding fencing, equipment enclosures, pool covers, and the like.
And shrubbery.
Strawberry.
And vegetation, right. Vegetative shrubs. Okay, Bob, are you in favor?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes,
Bruce, yes. Okay, so that takes care.
Just a comment, Bruce. It's interesting that that garage has almost like a cabana upstairs,
Yes,
but it's quite removed from where the pool is.
it is, and I'm not sure, that's what I mentioned. I'm not sure what the purpose of that garage is, unless perhaps it's going to be a workshop or something like that for whoever lives there, could be, could be woodworking. It could be, a hobby that they have.
It's
So I
just
don't know what,
interesting how far removed they are from each other.
yes, indeed. And if you drive by, it's a very nice piece of property, by the way.
Hmm.
It's
we have
beautiful.
no concerns about the inside.
Well, that's not HTC.
Yeah.
Correct.
It just hit me as the location is kind of strange.
It is wacky, but it's actually not that far removed from the little elbow of the house that's closest to it.
Yeah.
And there is a driveway there, so it kind of fits with that.
Hmm. Okay. It was just an open comment.
No, it was a good observation. Okay, I'm putting my little papers away here. Okay. The next item we have, Esmeralda, is going to be 9 East Street. Esmeralda, could you put up 9? There we go. This application is for 2 sets of solar arrays, rooftop solar arrays. They are mounted on the southeast section of the roof. And I'm going to make some comments about solar arrays. And I'm very much in favor of solar power. In Madaket, we have a huge 92-acre solar overlay district at the landfill for future solar. However, I'm very experienced in solar installations over the years. And I'm going to make the following comments for Tom and Bob. Solar panels contain highly toxic elements that can leak or spill, especially if they're roof mounted and not carefully examined periodically and maintained. They break, they crack, and it's easier to do when they're ground mounted than it's on a roof. Now, the exception to this is, last meeting or the meeting before, we approved the new solar roof shingles, or actually roof shingles.
Hmm.
Yeah,
That's not what this is. These are panels that get attached to the roof. And there's obviously no indication where the equipment is to be installed, because these solar panels have to be connected into an inverter. The solar panels generate direct current and the building uses alternating current. So there's a piece of equipment that hums and makes noise. I'm sure you've heard inverters, elsewhere. We don't know where that's going. It could be going inside the building in the basement for all we know. Not our issues, but there should be a disposal bond, because these things can't be thrown away in the landfill because of the toxic nature. But anyway, on Nantucket, there's a document, Building with Nantucket in Mind. And it's very clear in its discussion of solar arrays. Now, Linda thinks it needs to be amended, but in essence, it hasn't been amended yet, so it's still our guiding document. There's sufficient ground area on this property to install these panels as ground-mounted panels, which are easier to maintain. And according to the town guidance, that's the preferred method.
Yes, I agree with that, because we've made that statement before that
Right.
if there's enough room, they should be ground mounted primarily.
That's right. And as long as we're recording this, I'm going to read this. And this is directly from the town guidance. According to the town documentation, I'm going to quote, applications of these systems as a ground array are encouraged. The appropriateness of photovoltaic or solar thermal system will be based upon the historic character and architectural significance of the individual structure and its relation to its surroundings. We're starting to see these panels on roofs out here, and they just don't look like cottage type structures anymore. The entire roof surface is covered with these highly reflective panels. And when the sun shines on them, it's like a mirror.
Mm-hmm.
It says here further, installations need to be designed and carefully positioned to be in scale with the structure's roof line, while maintaining balance, scale, proportion, and rhythm with the other features of the elevations. And then further, it says, it is always preferable to use the least visible technology, and it's important to attempt to minimize the adverse effects and to mitigate the visual impact the panels have on the surrounding area and community. Therefore, whenever possible, the least visible installation is preferred. And then I just also want to tell you that at the February 3rd Select Board meeting, there was a discussion about upholding the denial of solar panels atop a roof on Dennis Drive. And the Select Board upheld the denial, saying it should be on the ground. So my feeling is, number one, for both these applications, we need a little more information about where the equipment that's associated with this goes. And if it's on the exterior of the building, how it's going to be shielded, not only from view, but from noise, which is not our purview. But the most important thing is a rooftop application for both of these buildings is inappropriate according to town guidance. We should be looking at ground mounted arrays.
I agree with you, Bruce. If it should primarily be on the ground, but if they say it can be on the roof, they do look balanced, but I don't want to make that balanced statement. I think they should be on the ground.
What color are they?
They are, according to this, the roofing material, it said, is gray. So these panels, can you go down? There should be a picture of the frame here. There it is. Can you blow that up, please? Whoop. Okay.
They look black.
Yeah, well, that's just this specification sheet. They apparently can come in different configurations.
Because it just, I mean, you'd want it, if they're up there, you'd want it kind of blending with the roof.
Yeah,
Well, they do blend in with the roof, but they're reflective.
they
Yeah.
do reflect, and it's just not in keeping with what we're trying to maintain in Madaket in terms of a low density, cottage type.
Madaket is rural character.
Right. So if it's on the ground, they can be shielded from the neighbor's view with vegetation on the, around them. The sun will still shine on them, but on the sides, it's not visible from the neighbors. When they're on the roof like this, it's visible to the entire community.
Mhm.
So
So-
we should make the statement, they should be on the ground if possible.
We suggested this before, I want to say on Long Pond Drive.
That's right. And, the part of the problem I have, I don't know, I'd like to your opinion on this after we vote on this. I have something I want to bring up very quickly. But in our notes here, I think we want to see this to be revised and resubmitted as ground mounted arrays
I agree.
with
I agree.
associated equipment shown. And I'm going to call it plantings or vegetative buffer.
I was going to suggest that.
Yes. So that's my comments on both of these. Anybody else have comments?
No, I agree with your comments, Bruce. Tom,
I agree too.
Okay, so let's have a quick vote. Tom,
yes,
Bob,
Yes,
Bruce, yes. Okay. Perfect. I'll draft all of that up when I get the form. And I just think that,
that's it for the agenda, I think.
yeah, that's it. So I just wanted to thank you for attending the meeting and trying to support what we're trying to do in Madaket here. It's important. One of the things I wanted to ask you about was when we send our comments and notes to the full HDC, I often go and look at the HDC minutes when they discussed the properties that we reviewed. And oftentimes, all I see is just a minor comment like Madaket area board comments, read or received, Madaket area board comments received, but the actual comments don't appear to be read into the record. Esmeralda, you're at these meetings.
So sometimes I read the comments, or sometimes Holly reads the comments as well. And so sometimes they just get abbreviated because the chairman just wants to move these applications so fast.
Yes.
But
Mhm.
I'll make sure they get properly read. And so
I
I'll
mean,
send
it's
you
just
that.
if we're gonna spend this time,
Of course.
My problem is that when I see, for example, this property on the full HDC agenda, I'm never sure if they're going to get to it at that meeting. And I got to sit through like a 3 or 4 hour meeting. And sometimes they don't even get to the property. And sometimes they get to it and I try to raise my hand and they don't call on me or they don't see it. And sometimes Linda, who's also on the HDC, will just make a comment or submit the notes saying, here are the notes. And that's why the record.
So we read what Linda submits.
Aye.
Sometimes she abbreviates all your comments and concerns into very short phrases.
Yes.
So that's partial of what the issue is as well.
And, the HDC minutes are very hard to decipher because they go by date and by what's submitted and what's being reconsidered. And everything. It's really an adventure for an outsider.
Tell me about it.
When something's going to be talked about.
Yep. So I'll make sure I send you the sheet so you can write your comments. And when the time comes.
I'll scan them back to you. Is that good, or do you want me to bring them to you?
No, you can scan them to me.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's
Well, I have a question. Sometimes Linda calls you Esme.
She calls me Esme, Ezzy, Esmeralda.
Okay, I just want to make
Okay,
sure.
just want to make sure we got the right name.
No, you, whatever you guys are comfortable with, I'm okay with.
I like
Okay, well,
Esmeralda
thank you
myself.
very much. And
Thank you.
I appreciate your time, gentlemen. Thank you.
You have to make a motion to adjourn.
Oh, we need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make it.
I'll second it.
Okay, there's been a motion made to adjourn. It's been seconded by Tom. All in favor, Bob,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Bruce, yes. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Okay, have a good
Thank you
one.
all. Have a good day.